Okay, Jay. So I see that you have a note here, and this has come up in our notes quite a few times throughout the years. Survivor.
Well, this is my Wick of the Peak.
Oh, okay.
As it were.
So tell me, what has re-summoned Survivor into our show notes?
Okay.
How is it back?
Okay, well, first of all, Survivor is simply back on TV.
Oh, okay.
Like Survivor is in season 41 right now, in case you're wondering. It's been on for 20 years. Amazing. 2 seasons a year. Quality, invented reality TV. If you don't like reality TV, you have Survivor to blame. However, you shouldn't, because Survivor does it right, and they still are, and it's really good. They have the same host.
Yeah,
Jeff Probst.
Jeff Probst is like a if you've never watched the show Survivor, or if you have watched the show Survivor, he is like some kind of remarkable when it comes to the way that he goes about hosting this show, because it's like he lives for the drama, but he's also like fantastic at grilling people.
He is so good at grilling people, and it's like I think it's like, because if you're going to host Survivor, it means you basically have to live on set, on location, wherever they're doing the filming,
right,
for like most of the time.
Yeah,
and they do 2 seasons a year, and they're like always in Fiji now. So he is spending a lot of time there, completely immersed in the game, and he's been doing it for 20 years, and he like loves it and like understands it and knows it's just really well done. Anyway, they had season 40, which was the season you always wondered if they'd get to, because they had all champions playing in season 40, which was an insane season, which basically forced a situation where you'd have a 2-time winner.
Okay.
Unless Queen Bee Sandra won that season, because she played, and she until that point was the only other player to win twice.
Okay.
So the only way it could have otherwise turned out was that Sandra won again, and there was then a 3-peat champion. But it wouldn't even be 3-peat's the wrong word, because it wasn't 3 in a row, but 3-time champion.
Right.
Instead, someone else won. There are now two-time winners of Survivor, which is really cool. So anyway, though, they come off this fantastic, coolest season you've ever seen, and then COVID hits, and they have the whole year off. But now they're back for season 41. And it has, I mean, Beth and I have been watching, and no joke, we have just been like, oh my God. Like, we've been gasping out loud at tribal councils, like, oh, no. Like, just so excited. So
that's amazing.
I know.
You'll love to hear it. You'll love to hear it.
It's amazing to me that it can still be this good. So, like, because they keep adding new elements to the game and new rules and challenges and stuff. Really fun. But anyway, the other reason I put it on here is because, like, 5 years ago or so, I applied to be on Survivor once upon a time.
You did?
And it was like, I did it just like, this was right when we were starting Super Carlin, or right when I'd gone full time with Super Carlin Brothers. So, we didn't have like any staff. I was working out of the side of my house, and I was mostly just working alone because you hadn't even gone full time yet.
Yep.
And I was just like, well, I'm kind of ahead. We just finished watching, another season of Survivor, because we had lots of free time because we didn't have kids yet. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'll apply. It'll be fun. And they like responded back, and like I made it several layers deep into the application process.
Yeah, I remember you getting like the non-disclosure agreements and stuff that like needed to be sent out like to the family and like all just, I mean, it was like for a while, I think the whole family was like, this is gonna happen.
I mean, it felt like, it was a lot of work. It was almost like the act of just applying was almost like a part-time job.
Right.
Like it took a lot of time. Whatever reason, you couldn't fill out forms like online. You had to like fill them out by hand, and there was like pages and pages and pages of questions to answer, and you're trying to like be creative with your answers. Anyway, so unfortunately, eventually I obviously didn't make it because I haven't played the game, but I was so enthused by the new season coming back. I was like, I'm going back in. So I have now reapplied for the show.
It's on.
It is on. So
Man.
We'll see. To say I'll keep you posted is even up in the air, because I have no idea how their non-disclosure agreements work. Maybe I couldn't have even told you that much, but
I have already
broken the one from 5 years ago. Who's to say? I don't know. It's been a while. I doubt it. I think it's probably okay to say what I've said, but I don't know if I'll be able to actively keep you informed as to my progress as it moves forward, but maybe I will, and hopefully I'll hear back, and maybe you'll see me in season 43.
Yeah. So the big thing like that I feel like we've always discussed with this too is that if you were to go on the show like if you make it far enough, there's usually a moment where family comes out and they like compete with you in some way. And I know that Survivor has always been like a huge, like you and Beth, like it's been like one of like your big fandoms, like outside of everything that we do here, the Super Carlin Brothers office. But there's always been the discussion as to whether or not it would be Beth that would come out as your family member
or you that would come out. That is the question, because sometimes when the family comes out, it's just like they watch you do a game or something, and then if your team wins or you win, then that person gets to come back to camp, or you go have a party or whatever. But sometimes the person competes with whoever it is, and like I don't like nothing against Beth or anything, but I do feel like if it was you, we would have a real strong chance at winning whatever it was.
That would be the hope.
That would be the hope.
Yeah.
Plus, the other thing I feel like that maybe like helps my Survivor resume is that occasionally they do seasons called Blood vs. Water, where you come out with a loved one and you're both playing the game.
Right.
Which adds this whole element of like, those people are obviously going to work together.
Yes. Like you're never going to have like a family member turn on a family member.
Not never. There have been some stupid plays in Survivor.
Okay, well,
some daughter convinced her mom to like let herself get voted out. Oh my God. Anyway, didn't like that girl anyway.
So would there be a chance that you and I could compete together,
dude? I don't see. I mean, that would be insane. But I'd be for it.
Okay, here's my other question for you, because you are you are a Slytherin by nature, and so one of the big questions as to like how you would approach the game is very like which stance would you take?
I have thought about it so much, Ben. Thought about it so much.
Like, would you be a villain?
I don't know. I hope not.
It would be so absolutely remarkable if that happened, because anybody who knows you from the shows knows that you are an absolutely good person.
Yeah.
Who is like kind-hearted and caring and like friendly and approachable and all of these things. But there is that part of me that knows you're like when it comes like board games, like we've talked about it a million times.
Yeah.
You were a highly strategic person, and like you have always had a very good ability to read the pieces on the board and sort of like look several steps ahead to sort of understand like if this then that, if this then that, if this then that.
Yeah.
And as that pertains to the game itself, you either need to be highly calculating and like what are the different avenues, because you can be extremely likable, but then you are a threat because everybody likes you. So as far as like the jury is concerned, at that point in time, you become a big threat real fast.
It's like it's so weird because like likability can be like your downfall early on in Survivor.
Or like I know one of the very common tactics is that if there is someone who is extremely unlikable, they tend to get brought along towards the end
because they won't get jury votes.
Exactly.
Like they're the shield. And it's like, oh, final 3 against this guy. Everyone hates this person. Of course they're not going to win.
Right.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of weird strategy involved in it, and like how you would play. There's been a lot I've thought about in terms of like how I might try and approach such a game, because we talked earlier, there are 2 people who have ever won the game twice.
Okay.
So it's interesting to me that both those people played the game in a very similar way.
Okay.
And that is that they are they actively spy on people in the game. Like that was Sandra's thing. She would go sneak up on people and overhear conversations and just get extra knowledge and then use that to her advantage. Same thing. I don't want to spoil who the other person is, but in case you want to watch. But same thing with the other guy. He would like build shacks or hide in trees or dig holes and just overhear conversations and then use that information. And like that has worked twice for the 2 most winningest people of the game. The only other person you could argue has won the game twice is a guy named Boston Rob. He has won the game outright himself once, and he came in second one time and then married the winner of that season. So he navigated the 2 of them to the final 2.
Right.
So he's technically only a 1-time champion, but is effectively a 2-time champion.
He's kind of regarded as like the best player.
I would. It'd be hard pressed to not say Rob was the best player. But his strategies hold very different. Rob is like extremely charismatic.
Right.
And like, so my thought is, if I'm being honest with myself, I am not as charismatic as Rob. Like, I can't play that game because I don't have that quality about me. Like, I can't do it. I could the spying on things. I don't know if that could be my whole game, but I could definitely see that being a part of it. But there's also another person who's played and done really well named Russell, who is one of the biggest villains infamously in all of Survivor.
Yep.
And I don't think I would ever try and play as like, I don't think I have the personality to play like him either. This like, tough as nails person.
Right.
Who works on an oil rig and stuff.
Right.
He was extremely good too. But there was a moment in one of his seasons that like rung true to me so hard as like a way to be in control of the game. And he's playing early on, and they normally don't give you very many supplies to deal with.
Right.
And normally like each camp has like one machete, which is a really useful tool to like, chop down coconuts or wood or whatever you need to build.
Right.
And he just completely, no one's at camp. He just buries the machete in the sand and then, leaves. And, it takes several hours, and people start to be like, where's the machete? Like,
right.
no one can find it. And he's right there with him. Like, this is a real problem. Like, but the fact is, he knows where the machete is, and he knows what's causing the drama and the problems. And it's like, he created that chaos in camp. And because he created the chaos, it gives him power, because everyone else is freaking out about something, and he has the ability to look at it and be like, I don't have to be affected by this because I know
where it is.
I know where it is. Like, I have, and it's like,
yeah, it's
very,
like,
you wouldn't think you being the one who hit it gave you any power. Like, why would that give you more power in the game? But it
does though, because I mean that's like, and from a very, very like dark standpoint, it's like you're controlling a lifeline for a group of people.
Yeah.
So like, for if you were to zoom back from like a much more societal level, this would be very like dictator.
Yeah,
ish. Like, you have control because you control the food source, the water source, but whatever.
But like, not even, because it's not like people know. It's not like he is holding the machete and saying, "I won't give it to you unless you do what I say."
No, I know. But like the thing is that it is a tool that, because you have so few tools, it is one you are highly dependent on.
Yeah.
So everybody else all of a sudden has a piece of their lifeline taken from them, meaning it instills this sense of concern and fear and frustration and irritability. Whereas like while he can play that part, doesn't necessarily have to wear all of those concerns, because worst case scenario, he could dig it back up. Like if things got extremely dire and they couldn't break a coconut open or something, he could go dig it back up, lean it against the tree and be like, how did we not see it?
Right.
Like,
or just let someone else find it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all there. And it's like, so he doesn't even have to. It's weird because he bears the suffering of not having the machete as well.
Right.
He also no longer gets the benefit from it, but he doesn't have to wear the concern or fear because he is the one who is doing it to everyone else. And I remember watching that, and it reminded me so much of the green Mallard stickers we did in high school.
Yeah.
Like, you and me and John and Mike were just like, it was a complete nonsense like joke where we printed off these stickers, we made them, and we were like, we're just gonna put them all over the school for no reason.
Literally no agenda.
No agenda. And we did, and they were everywhere, and people had no idea what was going on.
They're like,
what's with the ducks? I saw people wearing them. People had them on their backpacks. People would open their lockers. We just slip them into people's lockers and stuff. Like, and it was like, people were no one knew. And it was like, but we knew. And it was like, I could just watch it and be like, this is so interesting. Like, that to me, like when I saw Russell talking about hiding the machete, I was like, I know, I get it. Like, I super get the effect.
Now,
right
if you're on the show, I require, if you do something like this, you can call it like the Mallard Tactic.
Oh.
Because they come up with names or things.
Yes.
Like okay. The Mallard strategy.
Let me tell you, yeah.
and people will be like, what?
Like, here's what I used to do. This is what's going to happen. And yeah, so I've thought about that. Like, that moment is always like rung true to me. There's like, I think he's describing this. He's like, everyone, even as he's describing that to the camera, like, it's pouring rain wherever they were in like Samoa, and everyone's like sitting back at the shelter like shivering. He's out standing in the water in the rain like, this is great. This is giving me, this feels like this doesn't bother me. He just mentally decided like the elements aren't going to affect me. And so they didn't.
Right.
You know, it was just this very weird like internal assurance about everything. And I was like, that I feel like incorporating some of that like chaos element into it is very good.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where you can be like a disruptor.
Yeah.
Because the other thing about this game too is that like when it ultimately comes down to like the big vote at the end, people want to know like, well, what did you do? How did you like? How did you earn being here?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I did this. And
you can't tell people you hid the machete though.
Well, you can't see what you can't. Yeah.
They can find that out on TV.
Right. Yeah, it makes for a good quality reunion episode.
Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. To be fair, he doesn't win. He gets runner-up twice. Yeah.
Not the worst thing though.
Yeah. So he does play super aggressively, but then can't get the jury to vote for him at the end, which is often the cost of playing so aggressively.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Anyway,
it's a very subtle game. It's very interesting, and it's one of these things where I would so love to watch it unfold.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing, I mean, I have always thought that if there was any way for you and I to be on there together, I do feel like that would work.
I do feel like it would. I think. Well, first of all, we would be immediately painted as like challenge threats. I think
there is that.
There's no doubt. We would need to be on there with like a team of like some like NFL players or something who are like, no, look at us. Look at these guys.
These guys
is a real problem.
Right.
They're going to be big deal. We got to get them out, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder, that'd be like a curious strategy too. Like if you knew you were going on and you were like, okay, stop working out. Like, or just like gain, I don't know, start like bulking or something like that.
I mean, you're going to lose weight on this show.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So this is something. So for a very long period of time, I loved like every Survivor show, not this Survivor, but like survival show that was on TV, like Naked and Afraid. And there's another one called Alone that Alice and I just absolutely love. But those people do. I mean, they will bulk before they get out there, just specifically so that when their body starts eating away at themselves, it's eating like excess fat on your body and not your physical muscles themselves, which is what causes you to just like despair.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting to like, I've thought about like how would I try and prep? I think I would try and do a lot of fire practice.
Oh yeah,
for sure. And then I think it always baffles me when I see people like weaving the palm fronds together. Like it's just so natural. I'm like, I have no idea how you're doing that. It feels like complete magic.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Every single time they're always like, let me just like make a chair or like a bed out of these things. And it's like, what? Is it just over, under?
I guess it is, but it seems like after you got like several layers out, I
don't know either.
I would get lost. I don't know.
Okay.
So maybe I try and learn some basic weaving.
Of course.
And I feel like getting in the pool a little bit would be good.
Oh,
getting some swim chops. Not that, I mean, I did like swim team and stuff, so I know how to swim, but I think just getting some laps in would probably be good.
Not so bad.
You know.
I like strategizing like this. This is very fun.
This is the thing. It's like the weird thing about Survivor is that like it's like in a way already playing. You know, like just getting on is part of the game.
Right.
Like, how do you answer the questions? How do you apply? How do you get noticed by the people?
Right.
You know, you got to get to the game.
It's true. Yeah, that's it's man. Because I have also like looked up the application procedure before myself, and I think probably if you're a producer picking people, my guess is that you have like character archetypes that you are like looking for.
It's something like that.
You know, because it's got to be the case where it's like this person is like an egomaniac. Like we need a couple of people who just like are completely full of it.
Right.
Like this person, very soft spoken, because not everybody who comes on the show is like, you know, fantastic on camera or super charismatic, but sometimes just having someone there who's quiet, they just like fly under the radar forever.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody's really paying them any mind. They're not a specific threat socially. They're not a specific threat
Right. And it's like, that is a strategy that has won people the game. It's just like, just sort of don't be threatening.
Right.
Don't be too anything. Just be right in the middle of the pack the whole time, and we'll be good.
We'll be good.
We'll be good.
Okay. Well, I think this is a good place to end.
Okay.